Hey there, welcome in. It's Heather with Heather's Healing, and I'm here to do a mid-year check-in for Capricorn. So Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. Thanks so much for being here. Since we're halfway through the year, I like to do these little check-ins. I think it's really fun to do. I do them for myself, and I'm also offering a special. The link is below if you would like this style of reading for yourself. I'm offering them at a discounted rate through September. I'm not sure if I'm going to run it through September 1st or through the end of September, but the link is below. So go ahead and click on that. And if the link is active, then the special is still going on. Okay, so Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. Let's go ahead and take a look at your energy now that we are halfway through the year. Capricorn. We've got the Eight of Wands. So you're ready. It's interesting because I feel a little bit of anxious energy here, but it doesn't feel nervous or anything like that. It feels like you're now ready. You're ready. You're ready for to take action. You're ready for things to kind of get moving. And I'm wondering, Capricorn, if you have felt like this year is maybe not going in the direction that you want it to go, or maybe it's moving at a pace that doesn't feel quite right. It almost kind of feels like there's you have a perception here that things are just maybe kind of off, or maybe the year got off to a slow start, but you are now ready to take action. I feel like you have a sense of where you want to go and how you want things to go. So I like that you have direction here. I do feel like you probably are feeling like you have more energy now, versus the first part of this year. So we've got the Eight of Wands here. I also feel like you are feeling more outgoing. Um, you're ready to connect with people. That will make networking much easier if that's something that you're looking at doing. So this is really nice energy here. You have energy, you're feeling more ambitious, you've got a direction that you want to move in. You might not know exactly how everything's going to come together, but you're here for it. So that's really nice. All right, so what do your guides want to talk to you about? What is going to be the theme of this reading? What are we looking at? What's the question for Capricorn? I'm hearing it feels like I'm just barely getting started and the year's halfway over and I feel like I'm just barely getting started. Okay, so we're talking about balance. We got the Two of Pentacles here. We're talking about prioritizing. We're talking about maybe where to start. Where's the best place to start? I feel like prioritizing and balance is the focus of this reading here. And that can be all sorts of things. That can be dealing with health, work, money. Where is the best place to put your um for you to put your focus on? What should you be focusing on? What needs your focus? What needs your time? What needs your attention? That's what we're talking about here in this reading for Capricorn, which kind of makes sense when you have the Eight of Wands, where you have ambition, you have energy, you have an idea of what you want to do, you're ready to network and communicate with people, but maybe you don't quite know where you should start. So, all right, what else do we need to know about this balance? Why is this Two of Pentacles a problem or a question? What else do we need to know about this Two of Pentacles for Capricorn? What else do we need to know? What else do we need to know? We have the Five of Wands. We've got the Five of Wands in reverse here. It does feel a little, the Five of Wands can be a little bit of chaotic energy. But overall, what I'm feeling from this is, what are you avoiding? That's what needs your focus. So what is it that you are avoiding? What, and if we need to clarify, we'll come back. So what are you avoiding? That's what needs your focus. What are you putting off? This is most likely going to be an action that you need to take that you have been avoiding. I'm going back, I keep bouncing back to health. So for some of you, this could be a health issue that you've been avoiding, and now's the time to take action. So it's important that you take action on that. I do keep coming. I felt health when I saw the Two of Pentacles here, and I'm feeling it again with this Five of Wands. That won't be the same for everyone, but that's coming up. So I feel like this is going to be for more of you than for few of you. So health. Maybe that's just a physical that you need to do. But it does feel like your health needs to be prioritized first before anything else. Prioritize your health, your well-being. And I would say whatever popped into your mind when I said, "What are you avoiding?" That's probably what you need to look at. If health doesn't feel correct for you. So let's go ahead and take a look at the recent past. So, and my intention for this is looking back on the first part of this year. So, what's been going on for you, Capricorn? Looking back to the beginning of this year through until now, what's been going on? Let's see what's been going on with Capricorn. Nice. We've got the Empress here. I like this energy. This feels the energy here feels more relaxed. You've been contemplating. You haven't been taking a lot of action necessarily. You've really been planning, feeling into things. I would say you have been prioritizing your health and well-being. This is very much focused on, abundance. It feels like a slow start to the year, which I kind of was picking up also with that Eight of Wands. Um, Having a lot of gratitude. I don't really feel, what's interesting here, I don't really feel like you had any anything that you were really chasing at the first of the year. It really feels like you were, sitting back. Not that you're not being lazy. I'm not saying that. But it feels like you've been in a more relaxed mindset, waiting to see what comes your way. I feel like you've been very, I don't want to say cautious. What's the word? I mean, cautious is an okay word. You've been really picky about where you put your energy or what you focus on. Everything feels very intentional. So this is really nice. And again, probably a slower start to the year. You didn't just, jump right into things. Again, you're kind of waiting to see what comes to you. It's a more relaxed approach. And maybe you've just been kind of waiting to see what what is calling out to you to create, or I don't know. This feels really nice. I like this kind of waiting to see what comes your way. All right. I'm gonna move this out of the way. Gonna move the petrified wood out of the way. Okay, so let's take a look at. I'm gonna look at your current energy. Um, what's currently going on? What's going on with you right now? I also kind of feel like with that Empress, you've been waiting for information. So I don't know if you are, maybe you haven't been able to make plans because you're waiting to see what happens. It feels like there are other factors that have been outside of your control. So you've just been kind of waiting to see where the chips fall. All right. So what's going on currently with Capricorn? Oh, we've got the High Priestess. Yeah, very much waiting for guidance, listening to your intuition. You're keeping your cards very, very close to you. I would also say you're probably keeping to yourself. Nothing wrong with that. I'm hearing rest and recharge. So I do feel like, you're prioritizing yourself, but there still kind of feels like you're waiting for something. You're waiting for guidance, you're waiting. You're waiting for information. But you are listening to your intuition. You're keeping things to yourself. I do feel like your energy is very guarded. Nothing wrong with that. You're going within. Again, everything's very intentional for you, Capricorn. I really like this. You're not just putting your energy wherever, you are, which I feel like Capricorn sometimes can do that. You'll put a lot of time and energy into a lot of different hobbies or work, or um and then you just kind of wait to see what grows, what blooms. I don't feel like you're doing that this year. I feel like you are being um very particular with how you spend your time and your energy. Definitely feel like you are pulling back on your energy. These are two major arcana cards. So these are huge energies. The Empress is prioritizing fertility, birthing something, bringing life into the world. The High Priestess is very focused on um being guided by your inner wisdom, being guided by her inner wisdom, and she very much keeps that to herself. She's not going to offer any information. You have to ask. You'd have to ask her before she's going to give you anything. So the Empress, here we've got Venus. I'm just looking at some of the other energies we have here. The High Priestess, we have the Moon. I'm just trying to see if we have any patterns here is what I'm looking for. The 8 of Wands, Mercury, Saturn, Jupiter. Okay. Hmm. So focused on maintaining what you have, um, following your intuition, maybe even feeling kind of tired. You were recharging at the beginning of the year, but now you are feeling ready to take action. You have a general idea, a general direction in which you want to take. Spirit is asking you to um, prioritize health for most of you. And, it's time to take action on whatever it is that you're avoiding. So, whatever you've been avoiding, it's time to take action on that now. All right. So, looking towards the end of the year, what can Capricorn expect? Where is the energy taking them? So, you've had a lot of time to rest, to feel into the energy, feel into what feels right for you. Where is this energy taking Capricorn? What can they expect? You're being very smart about everything that you do this year. Everything's been very intentional, which I think is smart. And I think that you're doing that to prioritize and conserve energy, your physical energy. Where is this energy taking Capricorn? We have the 7 of Wands, 8 of Wands, 8 of Wands. I don't know why that kind of confuses me sometimes. So we've got the 8 of Wands here. Where is the energy taking you? We've got the 8 of Wands, or excuse me, the 9 of Wands. I feel like this is, again, you're prioritizing yourself, which I think is smart. You're prioritizing your energy. This is boundaries. This is new boundaries with people. The 9 of Wands. For whatever reason, Capricorn, your energy this year is really it's kind of low. And I'm wondering if there are some health issues that are contributing to that, but prioritizing your boundaries and keep doing what you're doing is what I'm going to say. Prioritize your health, take action on that, get a checkup, whatever that is, make sure everything's okay there. Um, but I do feel like this almost kind of feels like this year has been a reset for you, Capricorn, where you are really, you're not just doing something to do something. You're being very intentional. You're deciding where you want to spend your energy. This could even be going through, who you spend time with. Maybe you're whittling down your friend list, but you're not just going to be open and available for anyone and everyone. So the energy is leading you to prioritize your boundaries, who you spend time with, how you spend your time, how you spend your energy is what I want to say. Um, the things you do, you are being, again, you're being very intentional about that. And it feels like conserving your energy. You may have found that you are signing up for less, you're doing less, you're not as interested in doing maybe you're not as interested in doing a lot of the things that you used to do. Interesting. We've got the Eight of Wands. We've got the Nine of Wands. It's focusing on one thing at a time, putting your energy into one thing at a time. So if that is, focusing on your health, then that's what you're going to be doing for the remainder of the year. The focus is going to be on your health. Whatever it is that you've been avoiding or putting off, it looks like you're focused on doing that. You're focused on conserving energy. Everything's very intentional here. I do really feel like, Capricorn, for many of you, this is whittling down your friend list. You're not trying to spend time with everyone. You're choosing, you're really finding out who is important, and you're prioritizing your life differently. And I feel like this may have been something that um you've been avoiding doing, but for whatever reason this year you can't avoid it anymore. And you're being stingy with your time. Nothing wrong with that. I also feel like whatever, if you are creating something, if you have your own business, you're not really talking about it. Again, you're really keeping things to yourself, and I think that's smart. Um, yeah, I think that's smart. Keep your cards, close to your chest. You don't need to let everyone know what you're doing. This whole year kind of feels like a reset for Capricorn. You're resetting, you're kind of redirecting yourself, prioritizing your health. You're not doing as much. Okay. So let's go ahead and look at, I also want to say you are um setting up your life so that you're not really relying on anybody else. You are you've always been very independent, but there's definitely more focus here on self-reliance, being independent. Um, I'm wondering if some of you are maybe feeling a little burned by someone or maybe multiple people. You'll have to let me know, Capricorn. And this again is a collective read for Capricorn. All right, so let's go ahead and get some advice and guidance regarding, well, just everything in general, but specifically advice and guidance on taking action on what you're avoiding. So, asking your guides for some advice and guidance on this balance, this Two of Pentacles, and this Five of Wands. We've got the Chariot, and I'm hearing moving in a new direction. Lots of major arcana cards here. So I really do feel like it is a reset. I know I've said that more than once, but you're moving in a new direction, and I think that the universe is setting you up for that. I also feel like that's probably why you haven't been interested in starting a lot of new projects this year. Spirit has a different path for you. You're moving in a different direction, and I feel like that's why whatever you have been avoiding, it's important that you take action on it because now is the time. I do feel like you are being moved in a new direction. The universe is moving you in a new direction, and I feel like that's happening. I feel like that happens the last part of this year. Definitely a reset. You're n I and of course, we change every day. Every day, we're a new version of ourselves, but you are very much not the same person you were last year. You are very much not the same person you were in January, and this feels like a reward. I feel like the universe is realizing you need to you're moving in a different direction. I don't know. I don't know what that's gonna mean for you, what that's gonna look like for you. But it feels like one of the first steps you need to take is take action on whatever that is that you're avoiding. It will make it a smoother transition. Let's take a look at the outside influence. This will be looking at other people, the environment around you. And I almost kind of want to pull two cards here. I want to look at the environment at the beginning of the year, and I want to look at the environment at the end of this year. I don't always do that, but that feels right for you. So show me the outside influence for Capricorn at the beginning of this year and the end of this year. So beginning of this year, the outside influence, you have you have the 3 of wands. This feels like a very Sagittarius energy, you know, planning ahead, making plans, getting ready to explore, going on adventures, freedom seeking. This is very much, people around you seeking freedom. I'm also feeling a little bit of, especially since his back is towards us, they're maybe a little oblivious to what is really going on in their lives. This could be some avoidance type of behavior, and maybe that's why you have been avoiding things. I definitely am picking that up with this card, and this isn't you. This is the people around you, the energy around you. It's almost kind of like sticking your head in the sand and ignoring whatever they don't wanna see. Nothing wrong with that. This is more like I just wanna have fun and, screw responsibility. Um, I'm ready for adventure and freedom. Nothing wrong with that. I love that. I also kind of feel like this is a little bit of confusion around what they want, or not really having any destination or goal in mind. They're just kind of whatever happens, happens. Um, and and that's interesting. Nothing wrong with that. It's kind of a scattered energy. The energy around you, the people around you towards the end of the year. We've got the strength card. I'm almost kind of wondering if some of these people get themselves into a little bit of trouble this year. Maybe it's maybe you have friends or family around you that have had kind of a rocky year. I feel like whatever they were avoiding, they're definitely not avoiding it at the end of the year. This feels like reconciliation, facing the problem head on, um, taking responsibility, and maybe they've been forced to take responsibility. I also wonder, Capricorn, if you saw this coming for some of these people, and that's why you're being so um, quiet on your end. You've been keeping your thoughts and opinions to yourself regarding these people around you because you could see this coming. Hmm. Okay. Maybe maybe that's also why in the near future you are prioritizing boundaries and you are really deciding who deserves your time and attention, because if you do have a lot of people around you that are going to be coming to you for help, I mean, you can't help everyone. So I also wonder if that's part of what spirit was setting you up for, God was setting you up for, was like, hey, who are your real friends? What is really important to you? How do you prioritize yourself first before, prioritizing others? I wonder if they were getting you ready for potentially being bombarded by other people needing your help or wanting your help towards the end of the year. So that's just, something to keep in mind. I mean, that's kind of the whole point of doing readings, is to get a heads up about things. So, just because someone asks for your help, one, it might not be your place to help them. And you get to choose whether you get to choose how much help and how much time and how much energy you put into that person. All right, so let's look at your hopes and fears. Capricorn, your hopes and fears. The Magician. I love this. You have a lot of major arcana cards here. And I do kind of feel like I said before, I feel like this is a reset. You're dreaming up new possibilities for yourself. You don't want to keep going in the same direction that you were going in. Not that that was bad or anything like that, but you're ready for something. You're ready for the next chapter. You're ready for something new. But also you're very much relying on your skills and talents. You're putting more focus on that. What, again, being very intentional about how you're choosing how to use your energy. Um, I feel like this is dreaming up a whole new version of you. So you might even be contemplating a new job, um, a new living environment. You're not taking action on that right now, but this is a hope. This is something that you're desiring, and maybe you're not even quite sure what that looks like yet. But you have set the intention that you are ready for a different way of living, a different way of being. And I do feel like the universe is hearing you, God's hearing you, and um, they're moving you in that direction. The Magician is it's a very creative energy. It's inspired action. It's having a lot of self-confidence. Um, it's again very much relying on yourself. So again, a lot of independence here. The Magician can make something out of nothing. It's a very resourceful energy. So is the Empress. We have a lot of resourcefulness here. 1, 2, 3. I mean, the three major arcana cards here in order. That, I mean, this is very much a new direction for Capricorn. I don't think you're going to see it until next year. But the wheel is turning. You're moving in a new direction, and it's definitely starting the last half of this year. So let's see. So we've got twos, threes. So the energy of two is a lot of self-awareness, which I feel like is, if I had to give a theme to your year, it is self-awareness. It's being very in tune to you, your environment, what's important to you. And then the energy of three is manifestation. Um, it's something new taking shape with the energy of three. And I feel like that's what's happening for you, Capricorn. All right, let's take a look at the potential outcome of this year. And then I'm going to pull a oracle card to kind of finish us off. And again, if you would like to do a reading similar to this for yourself, that special is currently running and the link is below. You can ask one question or you can just wait and see what comes up. It's up to you. But it will be tuned in to you specifically rather than collective, but it's this style of reading. All right, so potential outcome of this year. We got the King of Swords. I like this. So towards the end of this year, you're going to be very decided on, there's a definite direction that you're moving into. I think you're going to feel very solid and confident in the direction that you are going. And it's going to feel very aligned. You're going to feel very aligned. You are standing in your power. You're standing in your truth. If there's was any kind of distortion or like mind game that you were playing with yourself, especially with this whatever you were avoiding, you're not doing that anymore. You're facing things head on. You're being very logical about it, very practical about it. You there's a lot of energy here currently, at the beginning of the year and currently right now, where you're feeling into it. You know, you aren't, it's more about how you're feeling, following your intuition. And I think that that's what's needed right now. But towards the end of the year, it's going to be, you're taking action based on logic. All of the information that you've been gaining throughout this year, everything that you've learned about yourself this year, um, you're taking logical steps towards the end of the year. You've got a direction. So if you feel directionless, it's okay. By the end of the year, you definitely are, you have a direction. You know where you're going. With that King of Swords, I really like that. I want to go ahead and just take two cards off the bottom for a final message here. Well, look at this. So as I was talking about moving in a new direction, you're definitely moving in a new direction, with the focus on your independence, your resourcefulness. Um, don't worry about not having enough. You will definitely have enough money. Um, very self-reliant, independent. If you have been building a business, this could be you definitely being self-employed in the near future, but you're starting a whole new adventure for sure with the Fool. I mean, that's kind of what I was saying. This Chariot, you're moving in a new direction. The universe is steering you down a different path that is more aligned to who you are now. And I feel like this whole year has just been an opportunity for you to reset, catch your breath, take care of health issues, take care of some of the little things so that you could be really focused on this new path. And I will say that it feels very expansive, very much focused on freedom, you having more say with your time. Um, but it's something you've never done before with the Fool. I'll say that it's something you've never done before. All right, so let's go ahead and finish this with an oracle card. And I'm just sending you the best of everything, Capricorn. Wishing you the best, sending you a lot of love, wisdom, and joy on the rest of your year. And again, if you'd like to take advantage of this reading for yourself, the link is below. So final message for Capricorn, Legacy of Light, card number 7. Yeah, I feel like this really is in align with this new energy. And it is going to be your legacy, what you leave behind. Hmm. Really beautiful energy here, Capricorn. I'm sending you the absolute best. Take great care of yourself, and I will talk to you real soon.